Alright guys, here we are in the Grand Finals between Snoxtar and msrm. It's going to be an IvI for the Grand Finals of ASTOC number 2. The Oil Stormgate Open Cup? ASTOC? I think that's right. And if not, I mean, just check the description for the Liquipedia link. I try to put the Liquipedia link in all these tournament games. But yeah, so IvI looks like we're starting with Vault into an Expand... Vault and Clown Cave into an expansion. Interesting. And yeah, just going for a health camp real quick. Nothing terribly spicy here, but Snoxtar and msrm are well known for their infernal play. What I'm really surprised by is that we don't see a Moron Shrine from msrm. The Moron Shrine is, I don't know that msrm, I don't know if he invented it or not, but he's certainly the one that uses it the most. Yeah, the Moron Shrine being the shrine that you build right next to the shrine that you already have. Kind of like a macro hatchery in StarCraft 2. Legacy of the Void available on PC and Macintosh. And Linux too, actually, for that matter. But we're going to see msrm instead going to build his third, while Snoxtar, I think, is just getting ready for it. Oh, we see a little imp dipping into the infernal sauna there. And yeah, it's gonna be a vault in the natural. I really like this. The more that I've, not that I'm anywhere near these guys' level, but having production structures kind of like by ramps, I think is they're quite tanky, and they're so low on the targeting priority that a lot of army units won't attack them. They'll keep on bumping into each other trying to attack units that are right behind them. So throwing down like, yeah, some production structures and then having your units fight behind them, I think is really good, especially for oh, I missed a little bit of a skirmish here. Or was that I think that might have just been partially the Shadow Mastiffs, but we still saw a little bit of a scuffle here. Oh. Do we see Plague Axes out? No, not yet. Not for either of them. Shadow Mastiffs. Four of the 5 going over here to come after msrm. And it looks like 3 out of the 5 are going to be msrms, and Snoxtar is going to take the other 2. And now they're playing this game of this kind of a dance. Fiend comes forward and gets a full scout of the 3rd. Sees that there's not a whole lot that's being mined over there. Snoxtar going for a vision camp, just wants to catch up on some of that extra eco, or at least deny the eco from msrm, saying, look, I know this is just free luminite on the table, especially for where the armies are now. You know what? Where's the ritual chambers? I want to make sure that they're coming online here. Oh, this ritual chamber's not even done building. So msrm should have Plague Axes done first, but it's not even started yet. What? msrm! Plague Axes! Plague Axe is good. All right, and yeah, msrm knows that there's no, like, with that control of the vision camp, there's no sneaking up. There's no, you know, you just know that you're fighting from the low ground, which is not fun. Unless you're running forward with a Magmadon, in which case you can run forward as much as you want. We don't. Where did that Hexen go? Where did msrm's Hexen go? Is it just gone? Is it just gone? Alright, Plague Axes finally starts up for msrm, but the amount of time that he didn't spend researching it... Ooh! Oh! The Uno reverse Nightfall Infestation saying, like, alright, you might have slowed down my army, but it doesn't matter if your army can't catch me anyway. A little bit of infestation damage getting done to some of these tier 1 units in the Magneton, but not really all that much. Plague Axe is about to finish up for msrm, and wow, Snoxtar actually finished Plague Axes first and already has Reaper's Rush on the way. A couple of Fiends just patrolling around, being annoying. Probably going to get this Imp as well. Will they be able to kill off the meat? Yeah, they will be able to kill off the meat farm, so it's not worth it. The Imp is going to die anyway. It just has to suffer through it. Rest in pizza, little Imp. Good night, sweet prince. A couple of meat farms. See a spire going down. What do we have here? Do we have the... Okay, there's the Hellforge. I always forget to build Hell Forges until it's like super late. But yeah, the stun stomps are worth it. And honestly, there's so many upgrades that come out of the Hell Forges that I've seen people build 2 and sometimes even 3 Hell Forges just to okay, now throwing down. I think throwing down a. Oh, they put them down at the exact same time. I was gonna say I think throwing down an effigy right there would have been really good, just to make sure that you've got the you're doing all the infest damage that you can. Magmadons versus Magmadons. Oh, but we've got a couple of Hellborn in the back line here from Snoxtar. These Hellborn should be able to melt right through the heavy armor of msrm's Magmadons, but no, it looks like Snoxtar's army got pretty thinned out. No, oh, that was actually a really juicy hit from that Nightfall Infestation. msrm's Magmadons are going to start stomping on forwards here. And Snoxtar with the rebuttal stomps takes out all the Magmadons of msrm. Now msrm is going to try and kite backwards, but without any shroud for his gaunts to fall back to, I think they're not going to be doing any infestation damage, but that's kind of the point. I think he doesn't want to throw down an effigy, because if he does, that's shroud that his opponent can use while chasing him. And Magmadons regenerating on shroud are very tanky. Yeah, even the Super Stone is like slowly chipping away at the Magmadon's health, but look at that. Soaked up so many Hellborn shots. Never mind. As I say that, the Magmadon does go down. Oh, are these gaunts going to be able to take out that Hellborn? One Hellborn in the back manages to get the last shot. Now it's just 2 Hellborn and a couple of gaunts that are going to try and finish off, or end a Magmadon. Uh-oh. Yeah, doing damage to that Hellborn is going to be a little pain. Could have been a little painful. But nothing. The little trip to the health camp. Actually, no, he doesn't even have a health camp yet. Or no, he does have the health. He got it, and it's already reset by now. What's coming out of the Hellforge? Okay, we saw the stun stomps coming out of the msrm's Hellforge. And we see a 4th. Or is this a 5th? A 5th coming down for Snoxtar. I do like it. When in doubt, expand, expand, expand. Very fast expansion there. Not fast relative to the clock, fast relative to, like, you know, you're not wasting any time expanding. Valhog's doing the best they can, soaking a couple of hits. And I think there's a couple of fiends here trying to do a cheeky little run by to come get this vision camp. All they're doing instead, though, is just getting good scout. Oh, and the vision camp resets right when they start. But now it's the shadow demons are out here, starting to do quite a bit of damage. Maybe these Hellborn will be able to help them go down a little bit quicker. But we already saw a couple of fiends and even a gaunt go down. And the brute. And another gaunt. Ay, ay, ay. It's never fun losing units to creep camps, but usually the reward is worth the cost. msrm with a very Hellborn heavy composition here. He's got to hope and pray that this army won't get jumped on, but I think these gaunts already have. I mean, they're fully upgraded with Reaper's Rush, which gives them a plus 30% to movement speed. Yeah, and more Hellborn. Holy Hellborn msrm. I know ranged combat is good, but where's the front line? One Magmadon is good, but it's not. I don't think it'll be good enough. And do we see tier 3 coming along just yet? No, not yet. Tier 3 would be nice though. That Molten Touch, especially with I know a lot of players have been going like quite gaunt heavy in the mirror matchup, but no, it looks like Snoxtar just wants to catch up with all the gaunt numbers here. Nice Nightfall Infestation goes down on a couple of these Hellborn, but they're not going to move. They're like, all right, fine, I'm standing on Shroud. That Nightfall won't be doing as much as you think it is. Decides to back out though, because Hellborn do fantastic against these Magmadons. Maybe that's why they weren't being made. They're good frontline, except if there's like 3 ranks of look at all these Hellborn. They would absolutely melt any Magmadon that tries to get close. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Magnon comes forward and does get a couple of stuns off him on some of these Hellborn. Oh, so many of them are so low on health. Alright, regenerating white health is good. Yeah, and I think a couple of these gaunts are trying to get the last shots off on him, but look at this concave of Snoxtar's Hellborn just ripping through these structures. Alright, the Wraithstone is down, but it's down to, like, not a whole lot of life. There we go. Now it's down. One Magnon coming on forward to get a bunch of stun stomps off. Oh, no, and it looks like it's just this last little bastion of defense from MSRM. This last little pocket, but it's getting surrounded by Fiends from all the other Hellborn. There's the GG. The first game is going to go to Snoxtar. And, yeah, we're going to move on to game number 2. Alright, guys, here we are in game number 2. Wow. Pronunciation, Frank. It's almost like English should be your first language. Between MSRM and Snoxtar. Snoxtar already has a point on the board. And I believe they've swapped colors for this match. And we see nothing too earth-shattering here. Just a Clown Cave, Iron Vault. I would be curious to ask them why they build their production structures on the high ground instead of down here. Just because the reinforcements show up a lot faster. And, well, I guess if there's a drop or something and you want to, like, come back and save your imps or something, it's good. Also, something I've started doing, and I don't know if MSRM is going to build his Moron Shrine today. I guess not. But I've started building my first production structure behind the Therium. So the other Therium bubbles have to, like, spawn. All the Therium boba have to start spawning, like, closer to the command center. Because I know it's not, like, it'll be a long time before there's any drop potential. So, like, getting a little bit of an efficiency there, I think might be good. That and throwing down the first meat farm kind of behind here as well to keep the Therium boba spawning forwards towards the main command structure. I've been experimenting with it. I don't actually know if it's good, but I suspect that it is. MSRM expanding out to a third. And it looks like it just started. Won't be up for a while, but MSRM doing a much better job on the creeping front. There we go. One Fiend gets his tasty cabbage. And yeah, I think the Fiends are just going to hang out here. Oh no. This imp's going to get ambushed. Yep, there he is. Oh, but he's mineral walking. Boop. All done. That's so annoying. The worst part about that is knowing that you're knowing that you have to send another imp, and the imps are so slow they take forever to just show up, just to walk to the location. I do like this usage of the Fiends, like making sure that the army gets all the way back into the main, so that they're like super far back. They're not going to be able to do much, and now the Fiends can just run around. Oh, take out another Fiend, and yeah, turn 360 degrees and walk out the door. MSRM doing a fantastic job grabbing as many of the creep camps as he wants. Gets the speed camp as well. I don't know that taking a fight right. You know what? Taking a fight right now might not be a bad idea. What kind of tech do we have coming along the way? Nothing yet. The ritual chamber is still coming online. And we don't see a... the other thing that we don't see is a shrine being built either here or here. This Therium shrine is something that I tend to prioritize personally. But again, I am not a professional Stormgater. A Gate Stormer. Throwing down a little effigy. I love to see that, by the way. The white health regen in the middle of a creep fight is really good. Oh no, will this bruiser kill? Alright, one Fiend. Alright, just one Fiend. Okay, that's not bad. That's good. Oh, we see another little Fiend run by. Little Uno reverse guard here. There we go. And most of the imps are saved, and I think it's still pretty safe to keep saturating this while this shrine gets. We're missing a fight up here. Nice little Nightfall Infestation goes down on all of MSRM's brutes. Yeah, and it's 2 versus 1 on the Fiend exchange there. Oh, nice little stompy stomp coming out forward from the Magadon from Snoxtar. I don't know how that deer is still alive. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so Plague X's are done for Snoxtar. I don't even know that they've started for MSRM. Oh no, they already finished for him, and I just missed it entirely. Whoops. If only we had like production tabs or research tabs or something like that. But one thing at a time, I get it. And actually, I'm very happy that that Frost Giant is prioritizing campaign over replay stuff, because you want players before you get like no one's gonna watch the replays if people don't get hooked into playing the game first. So I get it. Campaign comes first. I understand. Man, a lot of Snoxtar's gaunts have been quite injured. Very aggressive Magnodon here for Snoxtar. Well, MSRM activates the stomp on both of his Magnodons, but he's taking so much indirect fire. I'd be curious to see how good it is. Snoxtar throwing down that permanent effigy, but we see a Hellborn throwing down some supporting fire from inside of the cat cornfields there. And down goes the Magnodon. Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, now Snoxtar's just left with tier 1 units and the starting Hexen, which went down. So yeah, it's just literally just tier 1 units versus a Magnodon, a Hellborn, and a lot more gaunts. I think this is just bad. Weaver's finally out. Does manage to hook a Hellborn, but yeah, it's just surrounded by so much DPS that it's not going to matter all that much. Superstone is starting to do damage to all these gods. Oh, and they do get hit with actually a really nice Nightfall Infestation. Superstone does go down. Magnodon's going to chase away the gaunts, which we're trying to get a little bit of a snowball effect there from the infestation in the fiends. But GG, says Snoxtar. MSRM ties up the series 1-1. What's up, guys? It's Frank here with game number... Here we are with game number 3 between Snoxtar and MSRM in the Grand Finals on Jagged Maw. One of the maps that we regularly see in tournaments, but not so much in ladder play. And it makes sense. I get it. No one wants to relive the horrors of the rushes, the vertical rushes. Up and down here, but with tournament rules in effect, where it says like, hey, no morph core rushing on Jagged Maw, I think that that just about solves it. And I think there are some things that you could do, like having maybe having like a neutral faction anti-air battery here, or some turrets that like expire after 3 or 4 minutes, that just like obliterate any kind of air unit. But you know, there's a lot of different ways to do that. But again, I'm still happy that it's... Oh no, that brute popping is unfortunate. Now these fiends aren't going to get nearly enough damage done. And now, now it's MSRM that's kind of stuck. What is this slime? Are you... All right. Let's just say, is he drunk or something? But all right, now we'll finally get the health camp. There we go. Fiends on fiends on fiends. Now it goes down. We see a vault and a conclave. Second vault going down, actually. And how many? We've only got 3 imps working on that Therium. 5 over here. But are we going to be seeing a rush to tier 2 before we even get any of the upgrade structures that we'll see from Snoxtar? Ooh, Snoxtar going for a 3rd as well. They both are. Awesome. Looks like they both want this to be a nice, epic game for us. And I'm not complaining. Nice little dodge there out of the way of the telegraphed attack from the Shadow Mastiff. Alright, and I think these are just going to be scouting fiends. I don't know that, like... I think they both understand that because they haven't seen each other do much just yet, that they know that they're basically doing the mirrored thing. Yeah, they don't see any like big tech units yet. I love that skull though. The skull just moving around and following them. I think you can Oh no, not. Yeah, the skull is pretty quick. Oh, but there's no way of knowing how much time it's got left, is there? And it does manage to just nuke a fiend. Alright, so this little pack of fiends is going to chill inside of the tall grass here. I love the way tall grass works in this game, by the way. I think that's one of the... It works very similar to how, like, smokestacks or... I mean, basically, any kind of visual impairment that they could walk through in StarCraft 2. Which was pretty cool. Looks like MSRM's Hexen has more energy. And those skulls are nothing to shake a stick at. Let's see here. Yeah, we're not anywhere near having... Where's the ritual chamber? Okay, ritual chamber's right there. Gonna keep an eye on when that Plague Axe timing is. Okay, yeah, and it looks like Snoxtar is gonna finish a little bit ahead than MSRM. So he's got some time here before MSRM gets his Plague Axes up, but he's not gonna be using it for anything. And you know what? I actually wouldn't be mad. I would be okay if, like, there was strategic placement of critters that you could turn into fiends. If there were certain, like, I don't know, certain infestable critters, I think that could be actually kind of cool. Because is one fiend gonna be doing all that much? Nah, not really, but, like, have one infestable critter on each half of the map. So that way, like, if you need a quick scout, you can send a Gaunt or your Hexen over. It's like, okay, it's just a single fiend. And you're rewarded for taking it. And it's not... I mean, in the mirror matchup, it doesn't matter all that much. And really, the other two factions don't care much about a single fiend. Speaking of fiends, they did manage to see the... well, I thought they saw this Harbinger. Oh, no! No, the Gaunt's trapped here. They might be. Oh, no! Oh, no. Single Hellborn shot would have been disastrous. Reaper's Rush finishing up at the 601 mark for Snoxtar here. And do we see a Hellforge? There it is. Hellforge. I haven't seen anything being built out of it yet, though. And honestly, I don't even know where all the tier 2 units are. For it being this late in the game, I would have thought there'd be at least one Magmadon out somewhere. Magmadon, where are you? Looks like it's just going to be Brute and a couple of Hellborn. That's another thing. I'm surprised neither player's really gone for the siege camps yet. But there we see the stun stomps getting researched by MSRM. Here we go. A couple more farms getting thrown down. Yeah, getting supply blocked sucks. I don't have that problem because I always make too many meat farms because I treat them like static defense. Harbinger. Yeah. You were not as sneaky as you were hoping you were. Yeah, and that Harbinger got escorted all the way... Oh no, a beautiful hit on that Nightfall Infestation. How many of these Gaunts are going to go down? Not enough of them, apparently. I like the Shadow Flyers. They're a little late, but yeah, I don't see how much utility they're going to have moving forward here. They might be able to soak out like a Hellborn shot or two, but that would be about it. I actually really like this too. See, this is what I'm talking about. The production structures that are nearby a ramp, even if they're on the low ground, like this is This is not something that a Magmadon can knock down by stomping. It's not something that... I mean, I guess the Hellborn can like, focus him down, but they've got quite a bit of health. And all that damage, like, during an attack, that damage that the Hellborn would be doing to the structure so that the rest of your army can walk by is damage that they're not doing to the army. So it's... I think using these production structures, and they're not expensive either. Whoa! Speaking of drops, are these Gaunts gonna get stuck all the way back here? The Felhog's chasing them down. Sick them! Get them, boys! Get them! No! The Gaunts are gonna go down basically for free! No! And there it is. Rest in pistachios. Alright, looks like msrm's gearing up to take the siege camp there, and but with just 2 hits, it was all that it took to kill a Gaunt. Yeah, I think we're going to see quite a few Gaunts going down here. But Snoxtar can see everything that's happening from the high ground, and so many of these Hellborn are going to be taking shots. And I want to say Snoxtar stole that. I was too busy watching the HP of msrm's army. Yeah, but neither player wants to like stick around to actually grab the camp. There we go. We see a couple of shadow flyers. Are they going to grab them? No. We're too busy focused on the Magmadon versus Hellborn fight over here. Magmadons are not going to do great against this many Hellborn. But with a fantastic stomp like that we'll see. Maybe they will ultimately get something done. See one lash out of a Weaver, dragging a Hellborn back to say, hey, come back, you're in trouble. I have to bring you back to the principal's office. Whoa! More lashes. Weavers lashing Weavers. This feels like, you know, patch 0.2. I really like this, I really like that the meta's kind of shifting towards Weaver Hellborn fights instead of Weaver Magmadons, at least in the mirror, just because they know that there's no point in getting a Magmadon that's going to get lashed and then take all that bonus damage from the Hellborn. Whereas the Weaver, tagged with light armor, not going to take nearly as much damage from the Hellborn, and has the added benefit of lashing, and it can move. It's like, it's pretty mobile. Granted, it's not as good against tier 1 units, but again, that's how you adjust. It's like, oh, my opponent has just like, oops, all tier 2 units. Well, that's why the Weaver's there. Just get the Weaver. And still, no one has taken this the siege camp yet. Come on, let's take the siege camp. Oh, he wants the vision camp instead. Stealth Dragon coming on by. Alright, he does start to take a little bit of a... Oh no, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be a Fiend Fiesta. Snoxtar realizes he's on the clock. He's going to send all of his Hellborn forward. He's going to start taking out these the Gaunts and the Hellborn of msrm, but will it be enough? Yeah, all these Fiends over here are just going to absolutely destroy this location. The double Luminite is something that you don't want to lose. Dragon has to come back to help out with this fight in the northwest. Magmadon stomping on forward here, and they are going to get in close range with the Hellborn. The Hellborn are all going to get infested with the Plague Breath. Oh man, but that Dragon's starting to take shots from the Hellborn on the low ground. And because it's heavy tagged, it is going to be taking a lot of damage. Is it going to go down? Oh, that last shot. Ay, ay, ay. I don't think it matters though. I think msrm is starting to really pull away with this. Once this, unless the Felhogs have a rebuttal, which it seems like they did actually. Felhogs coming on forward. Get them, boys. No. Love the smell of bacon in the morning. It's the smell of victory. Molten Touch getting over every single one of those Hellborn. I would say they need to stay on Shroud. There you go. So Snoxtar coming up forward with a dragon of his own. wants to take out this this Wraith Stone, but are we going to see any kind of reaction for it? Ooh, that's a lot of Shadow Flyers. Oh, and he's right on top of the Wraith Stone. Oh, is he going to get taken out? No! Oh, Wraith Stones on Wraith. Yeah, turns out Wraith Stones are good. If you can affect your opponent's move speed, it's really good. Oh man, it seems like that dragon didn't get a whole lot done. Alright, so all these slimes are going to get infested. They're all going to turn into fiends, which is a nice little boost to the supply for MSRM. Widens the gap a little bit, but he's still floating like 1500 Luminite. He could just hold down the brute button, and I think he could just drown his opponent in blood. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like the Hellborn are good, but once you get them surrounded, they're not that good. But really, what is the Hellborn weak to once you get them in a high enough blob? They've got the AoE, they've got the damage over time upgrade, and they're doing bonus damage to. Now look at that! They just one-shot this Shroud Stone. Like, what is there really to threaten this big ball of Hellborn? Yeah, it seems like the best counter to Hellborn is other Hellborn. That, as well as, ooh, it's a lot of Shadow Flyers getting taken out. And despite the fights that were happening earlier on in the game, the supply counts are staying relatively even. MSRM does spend a little bit of his money, but actually, you know, I was just about to say, like, having something on the high ground here. Oh no, so many of MSRM's Hellborn are getting taken out here. They were pretty low on health. But it looks like he's still got his own health camp, so he could come back and get his very injured Hellborn to back to full health if he wants to spend the time to do it. But now it's MSRM that's down in supply. This Magmadon is going to... Ooh, I like that, actually. Stomping down the rocks to make sure that there's less like geography that his army units need to get past to start doing damage. The rate of fire for these Hellborn is atrocious, though. And Nightfall Infestation does land on a bunch of them, so they're all going to get infested. And I think a lot of these fiends have a great opportunity here to start taking them out and turning them into more fiends, but it's not going to happen. Snoxtar's Hellborn, in contrast, are quite high on health. Yeah, look at this! All these Hellborn are taking, like... they're delivering full volleys onto this Weaver, and it's not taking all that much damage. And it's staying on track. Like, that was what, a full 4 volleys from all those Hellborn at once? I'm telling you, the light tag against Hellborn, anything with light tagged armor, is really good. MSRM being driven back to his natural expansion, but it looks like he's got the Spriggans out. Spriggans might do good. Oh! Nice Nightfall Infestation there. Every single one of these Hellborn is going to get turned into a fiend, but yeah, the Molten Touch continuing to do damage to these Spriggans. Oh, the Flappy boys, the Shadow Flyers flap on forward with their singular eyeballs, and they're going to take out... Well, they took out a few of the Spriggans, but I think not enough. Another nice Nightfall Infestation going down there on Snoxtar's ground army, but this might be it for the Spriggans. Oh, Snoxtar saying that there was a bug somewhere. I didn't catch it. I can't move. Oh, is this camera stuck or something like that? Oh no. For such a great game, just to be ended by a bug, that's disappointing. But MSRM is going to go up 2-1 in this best of 7. Alright guys, here we are in game number 4 between MSRM and Snoxtar on Lost Hope, and it looks like we're going to be having vertical spawns on the left side of the map here. So that means that they're going to be fighting over the Luminite camp and the Speed camp. But I think it's going to be... This is slightly favored for Snoxtar just because he can fire down on the Speed camp from on high, so it takes a little bit longer for these Shadow Mastiffs to go around the ramp, and they're going to be taking fire the entire time if they decide to go that way. I do kind of like this in the Infernal Mirror matchup just because they both have access to their own Therium camp. Granted, the Therium camp is a little bit further away for the player in the top left corner, but it doesn't matter all that much. I don't think so. What with the speed that Gaunts have and the speed that Fiends have, you can just show up and take it. And it's if you're the opponent, you know, you don't want to be out of position. Like let's say you're MSRM, and you go over here and you take this camp. Well, suddenly your opponent's army like has free access to your base, and then you have to fight back into your own base. Here's what I was talking about. Yeah, staying on that high ground is going to be kind of painful for msrm to put up with. Hexen doing his little green water balloon attack here, not doing a whole lot of damage. He does manage to aggro out these Shadow Mastiff though, so that way, yeah, msrm's going to have to be putting up with 2 enemies at once, which is going to be pretty annoying. Some of those telegraph attacks that come out do start doing damage, and it looks like the Shadow Mastiffs do turn around and start attacking Snoxtar. One of them is still infested. But I think msrm's going to run away with the, he's going to take the W here. Wait, did the Hexen get taken out? I think Snoxtar's Hexen got taken out. Ay, ay, ay. That is it's a feels bad man moment there. Now we're going to have to wait, or Snoxtar's going to have to wait until Plague Axis comes online before he can start infesting things and generating more fiends from the creep camps, but I think that's going to be a little ways away. Yeah, he doesn't even have a Conclave coming online yet. He is going up to tier 2 pretty soon, though, so that means he's going to be unlocking the Magmadons and Hellborns a little bit quicker. But because there's no infest potential out of Snoxtar, it really cripples his ability to be active on the map and getting the bonus eco from killing off these light armored camps, like the speed camp and the health camp. Oh, are we going to have a meeting of the minds here? Meeting of the fiends? Oh, but they got split. Doesn't matter. They're quick enough. They can just run around the ramps. And the show goes on. I did not major in math. I did technically pass all of my math courses in university, but my instinct is telling me that more fiends is better than less fiends. So Snoxtar does come out on top in that little scuffle earlier, but yeah, this is not a fight you want to take. Magmadons are good, but that's a lot of DPS. So he's gonna hide. Oh, I didn't realize Magmadons could hide in that tall grass. Nothing like seeing a 2.5 story tall, lava lizard just like poking his head out of the grass. It's like when in Pokemon, when people are like, oh, Onyx is like this 20-foot tall Pokemon, but you couldn't see him over this, this grass that goes up to your kneecaps. But I guess that logic applies here because the Magmadons can kind of stealth in this tall grass. Anyway. msrm doing a good job being really active, getting, speed camp, health camp, vision camp. And if I was Snoxtar, I would send 1 fiend to each of these camps to kind of make it annoying. Basically creating an APM tax on your opponent, saying, hey, you have to pay attention to all this stuff instead of being able to press your advantage that you got from getting all the resources from being out on this map. Oh, no, I think he should have routed it a little bit better to keep these fiends from touching that health camp, because that sends up a notification. The Superstone goes down. Yeah, it's kind of a failed run by there. Oh well. Meanwhile, back at the main of Snoxtar, we do see a Hellforge out. I don't know that if Stun Stomps got researched or not. Looks like they didn't. Ritual Chamber's up, and finally we see Plague Axis coming online at the 5.5 minute mark. It's a little late, but I understand it. Snoxtar's been kind of fighting to get back in the game here. Oh, a couple of fiends decide to tickle the Magmadon there, if you know what I mean. And they're going to come back and scout around for a 4th, but they're not going to find anything. There's no 4th to be had here. You know what? I wouldn't hate if msrm instead went over here to the Ethereum camp, because there's an imp waiting to make a 4th there. Yeah, instead of smacking his forehead... Oh, no. Weaver got lashed. Alright, msrm did manage to isolate one of the Magmadons of Snoxtar over there on the low ground, but that's 3 brutes that are going to be chasing it. And now we're in this weird position where in the choke point, where I unironically think that the Fellhogs played a major part in this fight, particularly because every time that they get hit by a melee shot, or even by the Gaunts, granted Gaunts don't do all that much damage, but every time that they take a hit, I mean, it's a free unit. They pop out of the meat farm automatically free. So fighting into oh no, another lash goes down on a very expensive Hellborn. It's going to be stuck on the high ground now. It does get stunned for 2 whole seconds. And it's going to just get turned into a fiend. Meanwhile, down to the low ground, MSRM's doing a good job of taking out these Hellborn. The Weaver's going to come forward, but there's a lot of anti-light down here. It's still doing a fantastic job of staying alive, though. These Hellborn doing what they can against the Gaunts. The splash damage is nice, but it's not nice enough to scare them off completely. Alright. And both boxers are going to go back to the corner of the ring. Their respective corners of the ring. How's this shrine coming along? Slowly. And the ritual chamber. Oh, we've got flame imps coming online. You know, I wish we saw more flame imp drops. We don't see enough players that will load up a harbinger with imps and send it over to their opponent's main or natural or whatever, and just do so much damage with it. Snoxtar coming back to take back the vision camp. Not that it matters. I think he knows that he's controlling most of the map. And there's not much that Snoxtar can do about it. Okay. Shrine finishes up. And it looks like... So it looks like, yeah, Snoxtar's up by a base, kind of. This shrine, the Therium Shrine's going to be pretty helpful here. But I think a lot of the price adjustments that happened in the most recent patch, I think in the hotfix, 0.3.2, I think they went a long way in making... Infernal not seem as Therium starved as they usually are. Like, it's kind of, it's one of those things where, like, everyone just says, like, oh, Infernal's the Therium starved race, and they do have a lot of very, like, Therium expensive units, but it seems like it's, like, that change to add a 25 Luminite cost to the Tier 2 units and take away 25 Therium cost is really paying off here. Oh, no, the Shadow Demons get aggroed, and they're going to start attacking anything in sight. To include MSRM's army. I think it might have been MSRM that actually aggroed them. Yeah, they need to take care of these, but they're level 2 now. It's a level 2 camp, so they've got a significantly more health to them, and they do quite a bit more damage. Yeah, they're even doing, like, they're taking out Gaunts. Like, that's already a couple of Gaunts that I've seen them take out. And they are they're the impartial judges when it comes to dealing damage. They don't care which side of the army your units are on. They're like, you know what? You guys came into my house to disrespect me on the day of my daughter's wedding? Don Corleone will hear of this. And in a weird turn of events, it looks like these 5 Hellborn managed to take out that shrine. I thought for sure the numerical advantage of MSRM was going to be enough to drive them back. But no, the old Uno reverse card rears its ugly head, and Snoxtar says, look at me. I have the Hellborns now. I have the Hellborns, Anakin. Oh no, another shrine being built right in Snoxtar's face, saying like, look, there's way too much army here for you to, Oh no, it was a kill, not a cancel. All that Luminite gone, vanishing into thin air. Not to mention the life of that poor little imp that bravely sacrificed himself to get turned into a very large demonic building. Taking the fight while staying on Shroud, though, is such a good idea. Oh, no, just one more hit. No, but he manages to get in close. I don't think he had Stun Stomps researched yet, though. Where's Hellborn? Or where's the Hellforge? Yeah, it's still coming online. Ay. That Magmadon could have done so well. And again, for the 3rd time, this shrine is killed, not canceled. The difference being, if you cancel the structure, you get a percentage. I think it's 75% of the resources that you spent back. But if it's killed while it's under construction, that's kind of it. All those resources are just dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Dun, 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 dun. That's another thing that I don't see enough Infernal players doing that I'd love to see more of, is building production structures kind of on the front lines of battle. Not the front lines, but like throwing down an Iron Vault here or here and making it so that the reinforcements, because the Hellborn and the Magmadons are just so painfully slow. Magmadons without their without the upgrade anyway. Where's there he goes here. Ritual Chamber. Is the Hellforge making anything? Oh no, there's a GG from MSRM. I think he realized he was just sitting on 3 bases for too long. Well, no, he had this one coming up, but I guess not fast enough. Anyway, another point on the board for Snoxtar. Now we're tied up 2 apiece in this best of 7. GG's, guys. What is up, guys? Here we are in game number 5 of the Grand Finals between Snoxtar and MSRM. on stormy Isle of Dread. We never get to see this map played in tournaments. I love it. I love that we get to see it this time. Snoxtar starting off by sending an imp round the outside, round the outside, round the outside to the double Luminite camp. But it looks like... yeah, it looks like msrm's Hexen's going to come by, not see anything building for at the natural. But I think he also doesn't know that it was a fast expand over here into the double Luminite. And honestly, I think that's the right move. I might start experimenting a little bit more with this myself, just because the Luminite's so valuable, especially to start getting up the all the production structures, all the vaults that you want to get up. And you do want a lot of vaults up because, man, it sucks waiting for charges when you want to build all your tier 2 units. So the sooner this double Luminite can come up, the sooner the expansions can come out. It's all it's just better in general. In my humble opinion, Hexen's gonna just kind of wander around here and wait for things to happen with stuff. Meanwhile, a more traditional opening down here for msrm in the south, challenging these Shadow Mastiffs, which are going to go back to sleep. They charge again, but oh no, but we're not going to see a this Hexen's going to be taking damage. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see, yep, that brute goes down to telegraphed attacks. Now the Shadow Mastiff goes down. Oh no, wasted skull. That's another bug that I think needs to I would like to say that it's a quality of life thing, but it's not. Like if there's a critter that's dead, oh, I don't think that was intentional. Or maybe it was. But no, having the skull get wasted on... oh yeah, it was. If he's going to go after the health camp anyway. There we go. Another skull goes down. And now this Hexen's out of mana. Ay. Health camp gets completed though, and that'll be much needed health that the Hexen needs to regenerate here. But the vision camp for msrm is taken, and despite having the double Luminite here, we don't see a whole lot of... I guess it's just like the rate at which imps can get produced. You can only build them so quickly. But I really do like to see that the meat farm is ready over here next to the mineral line, the Luminite line, the worker line. Yeah. Radioactive blood finally wears off from this pack of fiends, and I think they're going to run over here and try and take this vision camp. There they go, doing their cute little wiggle with their one elbow and one kneecap each. I still don't have a good lore explanation. So fiends can come from two different places. They can either come from an enemy unit that was infested and then dies, or it can come from a brute which splits. And you can see by the brute model. Let's see if we can find one here. See how these brutes kind of have that they have like a crease down the center between the two heads, and it kind of bisects the arms and the legs. So that implies that each fiend and you get two of them when you split a brute, that each fiend has one kneecap and one elbow to kind of function as their legs. Where do the extra limbs come from when you get the brute upgrades? Where are those extra joints coming from? It's the cursed KFC of limbs and joints, I think. And science can't explain it. Very interesting that both players, despite having very different openings, get the Luminite camps at about the same time. But I think they both respect each other enough to know it's like, alright, this is not something that I want to like attack into. By the way, Stormy Isle of Dread does put that like that wet glisten, I guess, on all the units. I didn't realize how much cooler that the Hexen's green staff, like the glow, I didn't realize how much cooler it would look reflecting off of units that are like going through a storm. They're fighting in a storm. I think it actually looks really sick. But as is typical on Isle of Dread, the map is so big that there's enough PvE content for the for both opponents to not really want to fight into each other. They just want to keep on harvesting these camps. And it's worthwhile. Like, look, the Hexen's going to be getting more energy. If there's Weavers that pop out, the Weavers are going to be having a faster energy regen. Like, it's it's very much worth having all these camps. And yeah, they're even taking them in the correct, in like the same order. The composition's very different though. This we see almost like it's almost oops all gaunts, whereas here we have more of an even mix between brutes and gaunts, which is not me attempting to beatbox, by the way, but it could be. Anyway. Oh, this bruiser's going to be wiping out so many units, but it does get taken out finally. And the Piper with his propane pain stick does go down as well. I believe I think those are still heavily armored. They're still considered heavily armored, despite being ranged and a little bit smaller than the bruiser, but we don't know because the creeps don't have unit tags on them yet. Alright, so now both players have basically gotten all the creep camps on their respective sides of the map. Let's see here. How are we doing on saturation for the double Luminite? Oh, and there's the day-night cycle as well. I forgot about that. I just heard the chicken crowing in the background, so that means it's morning. That means everything's might be taking on like the warmer hues and colors and stuff. But here we are. We're going to start seeing some aggression. Alright, so the Fiends do get quite a bit of information from that, actually. They see that there's a Shroud Stone on the high ground. One of them was killed by a Hellborn, so they know... Oh, no! What are we seeing here? I missed a huge drop! And it looks like it got quite a bit done as well. I see a couple of Fiends out here that were from, that must have been from the, oh! So he initiates the teleport, but I didn't realize you could still load units into the Harbinger as it was teleporting. That's cool. Okay, so it does teleport. Teleports to where, though? Oh, and another counter drop, kind of. Oh, is it going to go down, though? It does, and it gets turned into a Fiend. For what it's worth, and I've witnessed this myself, if a transport has units inside of it, and it's infested, and the transport dies, I thought that, oh, well, will the infestation apply to all the units inside, and then it turns into, like, 10 Fiends? Turns out it doesn't. It just turns into one. It's just the transport that's infested. It's not every unit inside that's infested. Now, that would be cool. That would be cool for, like, a tier 4 upgrade for Plague Axes. I don't know what you would call it. But, if you took out an evac or a harbinger that's full of units, and then all of a sudden you just get like 10 Fiends, and it's just like some super late game thing, I think that would be extra cool. MSRM taking both of the Luminite camps, and well, yeah, Snoxtar has a bit of a rebuttal here. It says, nope. I know there's less than, I don't know, what do you call that, 23 degrees of time left on this little timer, that little gray outer ring, but it's like, I want as much passive Luminite as I can get. These Magmadons and the Hellborn aren't free. They ain't gonna pay for themselves. Alright, here we see a pretty big bubble, pretty big blob happening. And this always happens to me. Hellborn are they're so thick. They're so juicy that they just take up a lot of ramp space. And then a lot of your melee units, like the brutes and the Fiends, and even some Magmadons, even though we don't see them here, can't get around them. They can't get around all that junk to get to the front line and start dealing damage that way. So you really start missing out on some DPS if you don't like absolutely make sure that your Hellborn are behind the rest of your army. Uh-oh. Here comes MSRM's army, and he does have Magmadons. This brute's gonna come forward and see everything fighting. Yeah. Oh no. But we see everything's kind of trickling around. There we go. Like I said, you want to wait for everything to show up all at once. You don't want to just conga line your units in. You know what? I actually really like those the sacrifice of those Shadow Flyers there. That was quite a few volleys of Hellborn shots that they ate. And all those shots were shots that aren't going to be attacking the main army. MSRM GG's out. Yeah, the Snoxtar's Infernal Army just collapses on him and erases him. I don't want to say that it was because of the Shadow Flyers, but they did eat quite a few shots. And I think they're light tagged as well, so they weren't taking that bonus damage. Huh. Anyway, Snoxtar goes up 3-2 on the next game. All right, guys, here we are in game number 6 between MSRM and Snoxtar in the best of 7. Game number 6 in the best of 7. This series really has gone the distance. And yeah, both players are going to get their hexens, kind of looking at what's happening here, and it seems like Snoxtar's wanting to go for the Conclave first. MS, come on, you're auto attacking an imp on Shroud with a hexen. It's a little, come on. Come on. Come on. We know what's going to happen. Oh, and a vault on the low ground here. I really like that for Snoxtar, actually. And a Conclave on the ramp. Also cool. Also cool. But I will say that most IvI games are done before an opponent can make it all the way up into the main. So I do like structures being placed next to ramps and stuff, just because it turns into a really interesting little stumbling block, but typically on the main doesn't happen so much. Whoa! Nice grab on all the fiends there. One fiend gonna get juiced all the way up, while the Hexen heads on over to the Vision Camp. Now, will one Brute, 5 fiends, and a Hexen take out 2 Shadow Demons? We're about to find out. Yeah, and it looks like the Hexen's completely out of energy as well. Brute, no, there's a cabbage! Aww. A couple of fiends were harmed in the making of that. Oh, whoa, super fast third, especially for secluded. And he is going to see these fiends rounding the corner, as well as seeing that there's a couple of Gaunts and a Brood out. More Gaunts are out. And they're going to get surrounded. They need to minimize their surface area so they're not taking hits from all sides. No, are these fiends going to see it? Are they going to see the base? I don't think they do. They never scouted this third. They never scouted the third. So Snoxtar will probably get away with this. No, there it is. Okay, now they see it. Ay, ay, ay. So now MSRM knows, like, okay, we've successfully scouted each other's. Actually, I don't know that Snoxtar has seen MSRM's third, but he can probably guess that it's there. That early Luminite boost from taking the Shadow Demons actually probably helped MSRM quite a bit when it comes to getting the third down earlier. No, not even earlier. It's like almost the exact same time. Alright, Shadow Demons finally go down on Snoxtar's side of the map. And looks like MSRM is going to go where? The resource camps are way too strong. Actually, you know what? The fiends might be great as like an army magnet. Like, just send them over to the third, have them attacking the shrine. It's like, okay, 3 fiends will do damage against the shrine. It's like, it's something you can't ignore, but it's still pretty annoying. Yeah, MSRM even got the energy regen camp first, which is pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. Now that the health camp's being taken, we see some of these running around. There's Snoxtar's fiends, and they're going to go scout and see the shrine. Say, yeah, Uno reverse. I see your shrine. No, the vault killed instead of canceled. Ay ay ay. Did MSRM take a swipe at his own shrine? Unfortunate. 2 fiends. Only 1 escapes, but they still managed to come by and do a little bit of harass, be a little annoying. And you know what? I know it's not. I know Static D is like kind of something that you don't want to be putting down, but just to avoid, fiends are so annoying. Having at least 1 meat farm or 1 or 2 shroud stones to just like take care of any of these like cheeky little run-bys that are small and annoying might be worth it. I think it would be worth it. Snoxtar throwing down the ninja base here in the corner in the southeast. Ooh, no, taking on Therium Camp with tier 1 units is a spicy move. All right. Yeah, there's 1 brute that goes down. Now these fiends are going to start getting 1 shot, 1 or 2 shot rather. Okay, so that was Not a lot of damage taken by Snoxtar just to get the Therium camp, but it was enough. There we go. But MSRM's got his Magmadons out, and he's like, you know what? We've got just the tool for this. I do kind of wish that he would be throwing down an effigy just to make sure that the Magmadons aren't taking core damage when they don't have to. And they do regenerate white health so fast. What tier is he on? Okay, he's still on tier 2. Reaper's Rush is finishing up. I don't think we've got Stun Stomps yet. No, we don't. Let's keep an eye on that Health Forge. There we go. Stun Stomps just start up. Looks like it's going to be a lot of Brutes. Decent connection on the Nightfall Infestation there. Oh, and we do see a Hellborn out from MSRM as well. That Hellborn's going to be doing so much AoE damage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, here comes the Magmadon slip and slide of like, all right, let's try and get good surface area around each other, but playing with push priority is something that, you know, I think a lot of players just don't have a lot of practice with. Push priority really wasn't a thing in StarCraft 2. At least not in the same way that the Magmadon has to interact with enemy units. I mean, push priority was always a thing when it comes to, like, maneuvering around your own units, or who gets to... It's something that's doing an attack move to get priority over something that's just doing, like, a regular move command, that kind of thing. But yeah, it looks like Snoxtar is going to be backing up here a little bit. No, these Hellborn need to be focusing down the Magmadon. No, not the chicken! Oh, and the Magmadon ate one of the Fiends to restore all of his white health. I love it. 800 IQ plays here. Now, what would be really funny is if a Magmadon could eat an opponent's Fiend. Yeah, look, he just did it again. He just refilled his white health by eating a Fiend. I love it. I love that. Oh, no, and the Superstone goes down. The Superstone actually managed to take the Magmadon out, which is pretty impressive. But now there's a Wraithstone here. And I love the placement of this Wraithstone, actually. Alright, a couple of Hellborn that are still kind of in the back here for Snoxtar, but I think he's, yeah, MSRM's still got a couple of Hellborn out, but his attack is running out of steam. Yeah, Fiend and a Brute are going to take that out, and Snoxtar regains control of his base. The attack is finally over. A couple of Fiends are going to make sure that nothing is going to get through. Alright, and the game resets. Holy Fell Hogs, that's a lot of Fell Hogs. Not complaining, just saying, there's a lot of them. Yeah, I really, really like the positioning of this Wraithstone, because you know your opponent's going to stomp through these trees, because that's what everyone does. No one ever wants to, like, attack down here, or attack, like, through the Luminite camp, which makes sense. But yeah, just the fact that if you want to, like, get in close to the imps, you're going to have to be moving really slow. I dig it. Health camp. Get taken out slowly here. There we go. Oh, almost. Oh, get the... There we go. Very interesting to see that the Hellborns have, like, mined their way south out of the I don't know what you call it, out of this, like, pocket. Because really, like, this is the fastest route to get to your opponent. And I know it's really dark, but I think that box helps illuminate stuff a little bit. But I don't know that you want to do more than that. Actually, I really like that because it's, yeah, if he starts throwing down production structures here. Yeah, meat farm, meat farm, meat farm. There's a vault there. A couple of vaults, actually. Okay. Being able to reinforce this position from multiple fronts, I think, is really good. Okay, so now we see MSRM. This shrine must have finished just recently because we don't see many imps that are mining back and forth from the Luminite rock. But Snoxtar taking the greedy base in the center. Oh, but we do see an attack coming on forward. It's going to be MSRM's dragon. Dealing, yeah, spawning 2 fiends out of every imp that it kills. But it looks like it's time to retreat. That was just, oh no! How many Shadow Flyers can a dragon tank? We're gonna find out. What do you think? Okay, nope. Alright, not that many collide, actually. In fact, yeah, it only took like 13 damage of core health. Alright, it looks like, yeah, everything's lining up here to start getting into this middle base. Yeah, okay, so Snoxtar's coming on forward to defend his middle base, but again, these Hellborn are just so big. Like, everything's getting caught up on this one Hellborn. They need to come around to the flank. They evaporate that Magmadon. And, yeah, it looks like msrm's on the retreat here. He's got a lot of Hellborn, but they're all taking so much damage over time. The Dragon's out of white health completely. He needs to lay down the Plague Breath and do an inhale. There we go. Lay down, inhale, no, it disappears. MSRM's Dragon does. So now it's just oops, all Hellborn. No, there's a single Magmadon there. It's going to be backing up. Will he go to the top of the ramp? No, I think you're right. Yeah, he has to defend his third. But how much can a Superstone really do? These Hellborn are specialized in taking out heavily like structures with the heavy armor tag. A couple of Magmadons stomping on forward, and they are getting their stun stomps, but Magmadons don't last all that long, especially not against as many Hellborn as we've got here. Oh, now it's the imps that are all getting turned into fiends, and everything is going to be under the effects of Molten Touch. Again, we see Spriggans that are going to try to take out the Hellborn cluster, but there's just so many. It was the critical mass of Hellborn. There's really not much you can do against it. All right, and it looks like Snoxtar is going to win the Grand Finals 4-2. GG's, guys.